I'm Samuel Newman. My handle is samuel.bsky.team. I also go by Mosius in other places.
Perfect. And then so tell us a little bit, what's your level of expertise with like social networks in general? Like what do you do as a living, and then how does social networks come into the...
Well, technically I'm now a professional, so I work at Blue Sky. But I'm quite new to this. I've been working there about a year.
Okay, and then doing what?
So yeah, I work at Blue Sky on the product team, so I work on the app. I'm a React Native developer.
Awesome. And then so give us a little bit about your, maybe previously before Blue Sky, what was your kind of social media experience, platform experience, and then why was Blue Sky an interesting opportunity?
Sure, so I now work at Blue Sky, but leading up to that, I'd gotten really into Twitter, and then around the time of the Musk acquisition, I started seeing people like in my online circles jumping over to Blue Sky, and so I managed to snag an invite code, and I got in pretty early. And what I found was like the ecosystem for like developers was like it was super open. Like what intrigued me initially was the fact that all of the APIs that are used to build the app, anyone can build their own app on a level playing field, which was like, I'd never built an app before, but I kind of fancied giving it a shot. So that's what I ended up doing. I built an app called Gray Sky, and I worked on that in spare time for about a year. Yeah. Okay.
And then so from that, like, what's your main reason for attending Ahoy today?
I'm here, well, primarily to give a speech, but also I want to meet community members, people working in the kind of open social web space.
Yeah, it seems like that's a perennial kind of thought process or answer is like, hey, it's great digitally, but then in real life is a different thing. So, I mean, do you go to a lot of these conferences now? Is it becoming more and more of your thing?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the social web, right? It's all about the people, and it's nice to actually meet people in real life from time to time. No, this is my first one of these conferences, actually. There was one in Seattle recently that I missed and then felt very jealous of.
Right. So can you talk a little bit just about like, I guess, like AT protocol and like benefits of that on a high level, or can you talk about more like this kind of federated, like what are some of these benefits, I guess, at a very top level to someone who would just be like Joe Schmo off the street? Why are these important? Why is it new? Why is it interesting, etc.?
Yeah, like I think what's interesting about App Proto, I mean, part of why it's interesting is that there's a lot of different. It's a complex system, and it has a lot of different benefits to different kinds of people. So, like a benefit that I value, for instance, is the fact that like you own your own data and you can host your own data, and it's not trapped within a walled garden. You can take it with you. Other people might not care less about that, and it's more about the kind of unified identity, like across other apps in the ecosystem.
So what is kind of the, I guess, thought process for you as a person with product? Like, I wouldn't say, I guess you could say competitors, you know what I mean? But like, is this more about like a preference on a specific like user type and what they want out of like a network? Or is it more about like these cross-platform solutions being able to talk to each other and do something like that? Is there any benefit of like competition, I guess you could say?
Within the protocol?
Within the space, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the competition within the space, it drives us all forward. Like if we start lagging behind on usability, like the other apps will keep us in check. So I feel like a healthy social web has lots of participants.
Great answer. And then so can you give us maybe just a real top line of like maybe some of the current technical challenges in the space? Because I mean, it's new, everyone's getting on board and making apps and things, but like what are some of the things that may be holding back adoption? Is it awareness of the general public? Is it more and more people like yourself getting involved? What are kind of some of those things?
Yeah, the kind of blockers, I mean, first of all, I think it's just early days, and part of it is just time, just like more and more people are learning about it. Like it's increasing, but we haven't reached. I think we're on the edge of mass adoption, but maybe not quite yet. And I think on a technical side, I think the ultimately in AppRoto's case, the protocol is still kind of under development. There's still some features we want to add to the protocol, and I think once we do, that will unlock a lot of features that I think people are missing from other apps that are like the more traditional siloed old social apps.
Yeah, cool. So second to last question here, just to kind of keep this going. Do you, as a product person and person who works at Blue Sky, what are kind of the thought processes or your orientation thinking about like technical versus like policy social impact? Because as you said, like the Musk acquisition of Twitter, made a lot of people come across. So that's like obviously a different kind of thing happening outside the network. But then now like the whole, Elon Musk, salute and stuff, like everything around like Twitter, it seems like that has been negatively trending because of like things outside of the network. So do you have any thoughts on like policy or social impact or things versus like the technical? I know that's maybe not your field, but
yeah, I mean, I mostly just work on the app, and I feel like we just events are happening around us, and I think what our job is to just like make a good app where people feel safe and they can find community. I think just like we're just building the best app we can, basically, and I think that's a good thing to have in the world, I think.
That's good enough. And then last question, do you have any like final thoughts for the open social web community, like in general? Timelines, interesting things, projects?
I'd just love to see people just, there's a lot of chatter about alternative infrastructure, and I just want to see people start actually buying computers and running this software. I'd love to just get it happening. Yeah.